Welcome to the More Than Fitness podcast.
And we're live. Here in the Corona apocalypse. Hope everyone is staying safe. Hope everyone is practicing social distancing. And I hope you guys are trying to be at least somewhat productive during this insane time. And I think today's Minisode is going to help out a lot of you because we're stuck inside our homes, most of us, and there's not much that we can do as far as workouts go, staying in shape, and for a lot of us, getting to the gym is a solace in itself, right? A lot of us, the gym is much more than just a physical escape. It's also a mental escape for a lot of us. However, I don't think that means that we cannot take advantage of this time at our houses and switch things up and also give our bodies a different stimulus and work on different skills. And I think this is also a good test to show us that even if shit really does hit the fan, as shit is actually hitting the fan, we're going to be okay. And even if we don't have dumbbells and barbells, and some of you may have a dope home gym and have all that stuff. However, a lot of us are only stuck with body weight or bands or something like that. So what I want to do in this episode is go over 5 rules for a perfect at-home workout. You guys need to make some adjustments here, but that doesn't mean that your bodies are just going to, completely deflate. You're going to lose all your muscle. You're going to gain tons of fat. Our bodies are much more resilient and adaptable, and just more sophisticated than that, to be 100% honest. And if you follow these 5 rules that I'm about to lay out, I promise you, you will be absolutely fine and could possibly even make some progress. And I didn't even do the formal, things are just out of whack. I didn't even do the formal introduction. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Minisode number 22 on the More Than Fitness podcast. Thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I really think that this Minisode, you're going to get a lot out of. So we're going to start with rule number 1. Simplicity and fun are key. So the thing that I've already gotten plenty of messages about these home workouts becoming a struggle because 1, nobody wants to do them, understandably. But 2, you see shit everywhere, right? You see home workouts everywhere from on my page or from other coaches or trainers or Instagram models or whatever. You're seeing workouts everywhere. However, there's no structure to any of these, right? And that's where problems can arise because you have so much going on and you have so many options to choose from. You have the paradox of choice that you don't end up choosing any of them. You may do one here or there, but then you don't feel good about it because you're just doing random movements or something like that, which again is still better than doing nothing, in my opinion. However, trying to make these workouts as simple as possible and actually figuring out a plan and then sticking with that plan for several weeks or as long as this goes on, if you really want to ensure you're making progress over time, it's the same thing as dieting and figuring out meals that work for you. The more that you can keep those meals consistent on a day-to-day basis, the more likely you're going to adhere to these plans or to this diet plan over time. The same thing goes with these home workouts. Whenever you find a home workout that works for you, it's fun. You can tell that you can make some progress from it because you can do more reps or you can slow down the tempo or you can add pauses. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But if you can figure out how to make these simple and fun and just get over the hump of making sure that you actually do them, because that's what's most important. You can have the most sophisticated home workout ever. However, if it's not simple enough for you to just do it on a regular basis, then it's pointless, right? So making something simple and sticking to it over time and then writing down your progress. Something as simple as like the workout I did yesterday was literally push-ups and suitcase rows. So I did a push and a pull, and it was as simple as that. So I just did push-ups, I did multiple sets of push-ups for as many reps as possible, and I knocked those out, and then I supersetted that. I took probably about a 30-second break in between, and then I did some suitcase rows, which is basically I stood on actually a bunch of textbooks so I could get a little bit of extended range of motion with my movement, but then I filled up a suitcase with some my girlfriend's law books, actually, added some weight to it, and then literally did some like dumbbell rows, mimicked that movement. And that was it. Like, it wasn't anything crazy, but I did something and I felt good about it. I broke a little bit of a sweat. Me and my girlfriend also went on a walk. So going on walks is going to be huge. Like, if you're okay with going on walks, if you're safe to go on walks, going on walks are going to be super, super helpful in a time like this. So yeah, rule number 1 is simplicity and fun are key. If you can't do the workout regularly, you need to find something different. Rule number two is have strength workouts and conditioning workouts. For my clients, what I've done is some of them have dumbbells. And so what I'll do is I'll have them do strength workouts with dumbbells. So a little bit lower reps, a little bit heavier resistance and things. I'll have them do strength workout. For example, if somebody works out typically 4 or 5 times a week, I'll have them do 3 strength workouts and 1 to 2 conditioning workouts. And this just, it switches up the monotony of just doing dumbbell only workouts or something like that. But I like alternating them as well, because you have the strength workouts that can allow you to maintain and possibly even build your muscle mass. But then you also have the conditioning workouts to make you break a sweat. You just get the blood flow and you just feel better after you do these conditioning workouts. Nothing, again, making them simple, making them fun with whatever equipment you do or don't have, that's going to be key. But I think alternating strength with conditioning workouts throughout the week are a big help. And during this time, one that I don't even have down on here, and I guess this could pertain to rule number 1, is like, pick a new skill to learn, right? Like, this could be figuring out how to do your first handstand without any support, or doing handstand push-ups if you're more advanced, or if you want to start going on runs, like picking up running is something that a lot of you could do for an alternate workout. Or you could do 2 strength workouts a week, something more body weight or dumbbells or bands, and then the other 2 days you could go for a run. And then I would say as long as once you've got the adherence down, if that's no issue, like, that should be step number 1. 2, you should be focusing on how can you progress these movements, right? So have strength conditionings, have strength workouts, have conditioning workouts, and then figure out how you can beat things that you did the week before, for example. And with dumbbells and things, this is easy because you can go up in reps, you can go up in sets, you can go up in weight, things like that. And then with conditioning workouts, you can do more reps in less time, or if you're running, you can beat your time that you did last week at the same distance. So just little things here and there. Make it a competition with yourself, make it a competition with friends. Of course, social distancing, doing them apart from each other is very helpful. So yeah, rule number 2 is to have strength workouts and conditioning workouts. Rule number 3 is to go to failure more often. Whenever we are doing these home workouts, we just don't have, especially even if people with dumbbells, they have maybe 5 to 50 pound dumbbells. Some people can lift more than that. Some guy might be benching 70 or 80 pounds regularly for like 10 reps or something on bench press, and 50 pounds, it's not going to do much. So in this case, don't worry as much about the reps whenever you're doing these body weight workouts or band workouts or dumbbell only workouts. You're not going to put, as far as systemic fatigue, your overall, your how fatigued your body is on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, is going to be much less. For most of you who are going to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week, you're lifting with dumbbells, barbells, machines. You're lifting much more at the gym than you are now. So you don't have to worry about your fatigue as much, especially if you're going from lifting in a full commercial gym, and then now you're only doing body weight stuff. It's very hard to provide overload to your body if you're just doing body weight stuff. Doing push-ups, yes, it's helpful, don't get me wrong. However, it's not going to replace doing 225 on the bench press. So your overall systemic fatigue, your body fatigue is lower right now. So that means that you can ramp up your intensity. And this is actually encouraged so that you can maintain and possibly build muscle mass during this time. So go to failure. What I recommend with with my clients and what I'm doing myself is say I'm doing 4 sets, like yesterday with push-ups. If I'm doing 4 or 5 sets of push-ups, on the first 4 sets, I'm going to get about 1 rep away from failure, 2 reps away from failure. And then the very last set, I'm going to go all out. Right, I'm gonna try and do as many reps as possible, so that I can try and stimulate my muscles as much as possible with the limited amount of equipment that I have. So I'd say on the last set of each exercise, I would go to failure on those to try to fully stimulate the muscles that you're working. So rule number 3, go to failure more often. And number 4 is train by movements, not body parts. So what I mean by this is, I'll use the bench press and push-up example. Push-up is a horizontal pressing movement. Bench press is also a horizontal pressing movement. Whenever you can't do a bench press as your horizontal press, you can replace that with a push-up, right? Or if you're regularly doing barbell rows, you can replace that with the suitcase rows that I did, for example. You're still doing a horizontal pull movement, right? Another one would be, so even if you can't do barbell shoulder press or dumbbell shoulder press even, in this case, like if you have a band or something, that's a vertical pressing movement. And you can use the band to vertically press. So that's what I want you to think about with these things. If you can't squat with a barbell, you could squat with a dumbbell, do a goblet squat. You're still squatting. You're still doing the same movement. What else would there be? So like another kind of hybrid in between a squat and a deadlift. A great one for body weight is if you can do these, are going to be Bulgarian split squats. So having your back leg up on a couch or something like that, and doing one leg at a time, you can overload your quads and your glutes pretty heavily with those. So doing split squats, doing lunges are going to be great during a time like this. If you have bands or something, I would definitely recommend to get some, or if you don't have bands, I'd recommend to get some to get a little bit of resistance in there, because you're going to be pretty limited with only body weight whenever it comes to leg exercises, at least, because you're going to have to end up doing, I guess you could hold a backpack or something like that, and you could load that up, and you could do goblet squats, or you could do like a front squat or something with a backpack. As long as you're still doing the same movements, I think you're going to be good to go. But I wouldn't focus on, if you normally do body part workouts, I wouldn't focus on that. I would try to get the biggest bang for your buck movements, and train that way. I think that would be much more helpful. So number 4 is train by movements, not body parts. All right, and number 5, the last one is going to be pick a time you can do consistently. Again, this goes back it ties back into rule number 1 with simplicity and fun, and just making sure that you can actually adhere to the program that you're doing. So picking a time that you can do these consistently. So for example, if you're lucky enough to still be working during this time, go to work and then come back and then knock it out right after work. Or if you have dinner in the evenings, have dinner. Or I like to do it actually right before dinner. If I know that I'm about to have dinner in an hour, I'll knock out a quick body weight or band workout, and then I will have dinner. But if you place it before or after some event that normally happens every single day, or if you want to do it in the morning or something, like right after you wake up, brush your teeth, then maybe go right into doing your exercises for the day. But if you can figure out something that you do on a normal basis, and you can stack this new habit of doing a body weight workout at home after dinner or before dinner, or after you get home from work or before bed or something like that, and making sure that you can stick with that consistently every single day, or whatever, every other day, that's going to be huge. Anything that you can do to increase your adherence with these workouts, and this actually ties in with number 3 about going to failure more often. With body weight workouts, again, you don't have as much fatigue. You can increase the frequency of these workouts as well. So how often you do them So if you normally only lift 2 or 3 times a week at the gym, you would be just fine doing body weight workouts 5 times a week. Or if you normally work out 4 times a week or 5 times a week, you could do maybe 2 workouts a day. You could maybe do an upper workout in the morning and a lower workout in the evening, and you'll probably still be okay. Of course, for some people that might be too much, but even doing like 30 minutes at one time and 30 minutes at another time for a total of 1 hour, that can absolutely be a plausible way to split these up, get a little bit more frequency in, sweat a little bit more, maybe feel a little bit better as a whole, keep yourself distracted as all this is going on. I think that is really helpful. But rule number 5 is to pick a time you can do these consistently to make sure that you are getting these home workouts done over time. All right, guys, I hope, again, I'm trying to keep these pretty practical, pretty valuable, and I'm still not trying to play this too loosely. I'm definitely not playing it down or anything like that. I'm toning down the silly gooseness a little bit because I just want to put out stuff that is very valuable to you guys. And I think that, or at least I hope that these minisodes are doing that for you. If you have a particular question that you would like to ask about your specific situation, I'm sure there's other people that are doing or that have that exact same question. So feel free to, there's a Google form in the description, ask your question or send me a DM or an email. And I would be very happy to help you guys out. As always, thank you guys so much for listening and for watching. Stay safe, wash your hands, and stay away from people. All right, until next time.